Bobby, we'll take Mike level, make sure you're good. Just quick on the schedule. We got men's basketball tomorrow night playing Houston over at TSU. This weekend, women's volleyball over the regular season champs of Conference USA will be in Marshall for the Conference USA Volleyball Championship. Our two players today will be Aston Walter, who's coming off a career high in rushing last Saturday night, and Trudy Calderon, who had a pair of interceptions and is now tied for second nationally among freshmen of 4 this year. And one last bit of housekeeping. The LSU game Saturday night is on ESPNU, so that's where you'll be able to find it. With that, we'll bring up Coach Bloomgren. Get him there.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here on this beautiful November day and out there sunbathing. I guess it's beautiful for North Dakota. When you look back at our game against LaTECH last weekend, you know, it's hard not to see a lot of positives. I think Skip Holtz has done a great job building that program. I think this is their 5th year qualifying for a bowl, and some really talented guys. What I loved from our team is the effort I saw them play with. And the way they went out there and tried to do the things we're asking in terms of being physical. And also some of the playmaking that's a huge deal. Now, I tell you, I stand up here every week and I tell them it's a zero-sum business. It's all about winning games, but I really believe we're getting closer to that. So that's exciting to me. Thought we had opportunities to win the game in the 4th quarter. Anytime you can get that thing to 1 score, especially in a conference road game, you got to feel good about it, because we're going to get to the point where we finish those. And we just love being in that position. We take people to deep water and drown. And that's what we're working to, is getting over that hump. That's a big deal for me right now. I think our defense has played really, really well for the last 6 quarters. And you got to take your hat off to our defensive coordinator, Brian Smith, and the plan he's put together. It's been really exciting to watch. I think our guys are tackling incredibly well, getting the takeaways that we talk about that we need to do for our football program. And just overall, you know, we're really doing some great things on defense. I love that our freshmen are showing up all over the place, but especially on that defense. I think Trudy Calderon is playing better than maybe anybody in our conference in the last 5 games. Of course, the last 5 games, he's got 4 interceptions. Of course, he had 2 on Saturday. Just doing some really good things. And the way that he is tackling, the way Trayshawn Chamberlain is tackling, another true freshman in Trayshawn. He had another turnover in that game, had the fumble recovery. So, again, just some really exciting things going on the defensive side. Offensively, I was proud that we were able to run the ball. Not the way we want to, but we took positive steps forward, and largely because of Aston Walter. Because he was running behind his pads, beating people with his pads, falling forward, running over people, and just doing not just what the run was blocked to do. He was getting extra yards. And I thought that was a really good step for our offense. Again, not where we want to be, but certainly not where we were 2 and 3 weeks ago. So we're taking some strides there. I thought that Sean's pass on the first drive of the 3rd quarter, the one that Austin Walter hauled in and turned into a touchdown, was an unbelievably good throw. On a 3rd down, I thought what Austin did with it was spectacular. Not just running the ball down, but then not letting that guy who had a hand on his shoulder pad get him out of bounds, get him on the ground, and finishing it. So another thing that I thought was just a real physical play, the stuff we need to do, and then an explosive play. The negatives offensively were really clear. We can't turn the ball over, and Sean is well aware of what our expectation is. He understands we can't turn the ball over 3 times, and it's unacceptable. So that's, again, we're trying to grow, trying to stay in a world of ball security. Thought, again, we did some really good things. As you look at where we were from a discipline standpoint, I believe we had 1 penalty in the ball game. So our guys continuing to do that well, really aside from 1 ball game this season. So that's all good stuff. I think that the way that our guys are working and the way that they're coming in here and doing the things that it takes to win games just give me all the hope in the world. They really do, that we're going to turn that corner. And it's so exciting to me, because I look at now that we've played every team in the West of Conference USA, and I look at them top to bottom, and I think that we can really make some strides and get ourselves in position to win those games going forward. You look at them, aside from 1, we were in deep water. We were within a score in the 4th quarter of those games. So that's exciting stuff. Love the way the guys are working. Love the way they're coming in here and really attacking this thing the way they need to. And This Saturday, we got an opportunity to go into one of the premier venues in college football, going into Death Valley, 6:30 on a Saturday night. I think it's so exciting for our kids. I think every one of them's dreamed about it. I dreamed about it as a kid, getting a chance to go in there and play. It's going to be a ton of fun. The things that we've really stressed to them is, guys, look, yeah, you look at the roster 1 to 22, and they're going to be more talented than us. They're going to have more guys with stars by their name in terms of recruiting rankings. But every week in college football, you see a team go in there to one of those places, you see the score on your phone, and you're like, wow, those dudes beat them? And guys, it just happens every week. It happens every week. And so we've got to go in there and worry about what we can control, worry about our jobs, and playing the best football we can, and we'll be happy with the results. The thing I also told them we can't do is we can't come out of that tunnel and let Death Valley or Mike the Tiger score points for them. We've got to make them line up across from us, go toe-to-toe, and earn everything they get. And then we've got to give it back to them. We've got to give it back to them. And that's what I expect from our guys. I expect it to be a chance for them to go out on this great stage in front of 100,000 people and play their butts off and try to perform on the highest stage possible against one of the top teams in the Southeastern Conference. It's just an incredible opportunity that I'm really looking forward to. So again, what you dream of when you sign up to play college football, and we got a chance to do it this Saturday night. One housekeeping note before I open up for questions is Joe Dill will no longer be with our football team. I did talk to him yesterday, and we've got a plan to keep him in school as a Rice student and try to make sure he gets his Rice degree so he can change his life. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach, do you have to, in some ways, protect from getting too overhyped when you get in that situation on Saturday night?
I think so, because again, like, that's a stadium when you walk out there. It didn't matter when I was in Alabama when we went in there. I mean, you walk into that stadium and you're like, wow, let's go. Like, this is freaking awesome. So yeah, don't peak too soon is going to be a message, right? Like pregame warm-ups, we're going to look around, and again, you see Mike the Tiger. He's an impressive freaking creature, but you know, he's not going to score any points. He's not going to get any first downs or make any tackles. But it's going to be cool to walk in there. I'm excited to take these guys in there.
Mike, what is the message to your team when you know that nobody outside your organization thinks you have a shot? When you tell them that, when you talk to them, they'll read it, they see it. How do you handle it?
You know what, Mark? It's been the same situation for the last few weeks. Like, we went into that game against LaTECH. I think we were a 24-point underdog. That's exactly what we talked about at the hotel. Nobody outside of these walls believes we can do it, and we know we can. So let's go. Let's just go play football. Enjoy every minute.
When you watch them, both sides of the ball, what are some things that stand out?
Overall team speed is one. Great length. I mean, a lot of them are kind of like I talked about number 45 from LaTeCH last weekend. You know, the way you would create a guy in the Madden video game. You know, they have all these NFL prospects on the field. They do. They're great players. But we've got some guys that can play football too.
Mike, we often hear about a quarterback as a weapon, a running back as a weapon, a wide receiver. Is your punter a weapon for you?
He certainly has been, you know, and I think he is a guy that should be up at the very top of that Ray Guy watch list. I think he should win the award, quite frankly, if you look at his body of work, what he's done this season. And, you know, he's a guy that not only helps us punting the football, he's a holder on PAT field goal, he's throwing passes, he's had fake punts. Like, he's really, like, sometimes specialists are really weird dudes. He's like a football player. And I love that about him.
Mike, how important are games like this for your program? Are they important?
I think every game, just because we only get 13 of them, because we work year-round for these opportunities to play football games, I think they're all important. Regardless of the venue, I think we're going to prepare the exact same way that we have for all these others. We're trying to get into a rhythm, get our routine down of how we prepare to play these football games and win them. And that's all I'm asking our guys to do. Do things exactly the same way we've done. Let's, again, keep turning up the notch. I shouldn't say exactly the way we've done, because we've had some weeks where I didn't love what we did on the practice field. But lately, we've been doing a heck of a job working, and I just need another week of that. Give me another week of that.
Generally speaking, do you try to do some things that they haven't seen you do on film, or you can't go that route this late in the year?
Oh, no, I think you can. I think you're always going to look at how the X's and O's draw up on the board and what presents the best way for you to be successful. And then you're going to look at matchups. And, you know, is this a matchup that we've got to overcome? What's our plan for it? Is this one we feel we can actually take advantage of? Great, let's do it. Let's get it. And sometimes it's going to be the flow of the defense. Sometimes it will be a one-on-one matchup. You know, I know that they've got a lot of guys down right now. It's week 12 of the football season. And but they're going to have another five-star jump right up in this place. So it's not like they're going to be down from a personnel or a physical standpoint. So we're going to have to physical and everything. But yeah, there's definitely things that we haven't shown on film we will try to do this week.
Was John's performance about what you anticipated in his first week back from injury? Do you expect the quarterback situation to remain the same this week?
It's hard to say if it's what I expected. I certainly didn't expect 3 turnovers. I'm not going into a game ever thinking our quarterback's going to turn it over 3 times, because you can't live that way. But there were some things he did in the huddle, and there were some things he did making a couple plays. That throw to Austin Walter was phenomenal. And to have the courage to drop back on 3rd and 6 and let that thing fly. It's not where I thought he was going with the ball pre-snap. As soon as he let it go, I was like, well, I hope Austin runs it down. And then Austin goes and makes a great play. So to answer your question, the turnovers were a big minus of how I thought it would go.
Mike, back to Jack again. When you got here, he's had a very successful career prior to you being here. Is there anything that you or your staff wanted him to work on this season to get that much better?
Yeah, you know, Coach Lembo does such a good job meeting with those guys every day. They watch every stitch of film, every ball they kick, and he talks through it with them. And I think sometimes he's giving them coaching advice. I think in the kicking world, you're almost more like a caddy, right? You're like talking about the consistency of the swing and how you hit the ball. And I think he does an awesome job with that. But a lot of times I've seen him just ask those guys, how do you feel about this? And that's something I always did as a coach. I always loved to make those guys talk about what they felt. Hey, what works? And I remember when I was in the NFL, that was such a big learning opportunity for me to listen to guys like LSU grad Alan Faneca talk about how he did certain blocks and how he did things with his hands, how he saw things pre-snap. So just, I think as a coach, you can learn so much from those guys, especially like in my case, not having played offensive line, or in Pete's case, not having punted.
And a guy like him could certainly make a difference on Saturday against LSU when you're trying to change field position and flip the field.
Flip the field and play a little keep away like he's done against some great returners this year. We've played some 3 outstanding returners already, and we got another one coming up Saturday.
You talked about playing your CUSA West Division opponents this year. Does playing them, preparing for them, does that change your perception of them in any way versus watching them on film and obviously being new to the conference?
It's always good to see your schemes and guys that you've coached go out there and try to perform those schemes against them, right? For better or worse, you learn. And seeing them on film against a scheme I didn't know last year, I don't know that I had the best gauge of who these guys were. So now having played them and seeing that everybody against UAB we matched up okay with, and knowing the development I see this team having and the injection of new talent that we're going to bring in, I'm just really encouraged. Certainly not saying that we can line up and play them all back-to-back days and beat them all right now, but I'm just encouraged. That's the bottom line. As I look at them, and I'm like, okay, maybe we're not that far away. Let's go get it.
Anything else? We have asked him?